What's up everyone, Rick here with UTV Source. If you're new to the channel, welcome, thanks for tuning in. We sell UTV parts off our website at utvsource.com. We also do a lot of builds, and if you haven't been to our website, go check it out, click on the gallery, get some inspiration for your current build. If you've been with us for a while, you already know, oh boy, Rick's got a wheel on the ground and a tire on the wall and a 5-gallon bucket on the ground. We're doing beadlocks. In this video, I'm gonna share with you my little tips and tricks. And if you wanna view a whole how-to do a beadlock wheel and tire package, we've got that YouTube for you guys as well. So let's get into it. Working on our Segway Villain. I wanna get the wheels and tires on it because I want it down on the ground. I need to test drive it. Here's the deal. I'm going to be installing a factory Segway wheel back onto our Villain. The factory wheel has the correct offset. So if you're feeling like fatigued in your arms, odds are it's because you have a really extreme offset and you're getting bump steer and it's not a lot of fun to drive. So we're gonna eliminate that. I'm gonna go with this. This is a 14. I really haven't played with 14s too much. It's lightweight. It has an inserted nutsert, similar to like a Healy coil, and that's kind of common on a lot of your aftermarket wheels. Now we're gonna be mounting a set of Tensor DS tires on this. It's a great tire. The reason I went with the DS for this build is we're gonna be running some trails. So I always talk about it, you know, have an idea of where you guys are gonna ride, what kind of parts you're gonna put on the build, get the whole grand scheme, because it plays a huge part in your experience. The experience I want is effortless. I want to have fun to the max on this one. So I went with a nice rounded edge tire. Right here you get these little ribs, and that's actually grabbing stuff on the side, but it's not like grabbing it like a rock crawl tire, right? It's got a nice rolled edge. And that's important when you're running in the desert or on tracks or in deep grooves. I want this tire to just kind of deflect off everything and stay in that groove. We're running a 72-inch Segway Villain. It's also available on a 64, but we're gonna be in the groove. Now, if I have a tire that is squared off, like a rock climbing tire, the fingers off the edge of the tire are gonna be constantly grabbing that lip, and that's gonna give you that feeling in your car you're just getting jerked around and you have no control. I don't want that. So this is what we're gonna do. I think it's gonna look dope. It's a 33-10-14. Let's get into it. You can see, this one's already got a valve stem installed. If you have a beadlock wheel and tire combo that is constantly leaking air, you're gonna wanna do a few things. First, you're gonna wanna make sure your tire doesn't have a hole in it or a nail in it or a thorn or a cactus in it. And once you verify that's not it, check your beadlock bolts. Make sure they're locked down. They do come loose sometimes. If that's not it, deflate your tire, let the air out of it. Odds are you got a bad valve stem. If you have a bad valve stem, I'm gonna cut it out. It's pretty simple. All you do is let the air out of your tire, take your beadlock ring out, pull that open. You have access when that comes up. Enough to get in here with a pair of side cutters. Go down as low as you possibly can. Cut them off. Now, you're going, oh God, Rick, what'd you do? Well, I cut it off because it's garbage and it's leaking. We're gonna get a different set of pliers. I'm gonna go with a set of needle nose pliers. I'm gonna come to the back side of this thing. I'm actually just gonna set it down on the ground. Try and face this to you guys. Step on the wheel so it doesn't spin. Stick the needle in there. It's okay if you scratch the inside of your wheel, guys. Don't worry about that. No one's ever gonna see it. Get a good grip on it. That's it. Throw it in the trash. How do you put it back in? And you're going, oh man, how do we do this out on the trail? You're not gonna have this bucket, but it's pretty simple. We gotta get a new one back in. First, you're gonna need a new valve stem. I got one. I don't have my valve stem tool on me. Actually, I lost it. That's okay. You don't really need one. It does make the job easier, but you don't really need one. I'm gonna show you what you need. Soapy water. And that's all you really need. You shove it in there, just like that. I'm gonna step on the wheel again. I'm gonna get that in there, and I'm not gonna lever off the lip. I'm gonna pull. That's it. Boom. In there. You're gonna wanna make sure that it's sealed. This one's good. You can get valve stems at any hardware store or any AutoZone, O'Reilly's, whatever's close to you. Next step, set the wheel down on the ground. You ready for this? Grab your 5-gallon bucket. Get some soapy water on there, guys. Go around that lip. It's important. Get it wet, get it soapy, it's okay. You're gonna make a mess doing this anyways. I'm gonna be mounting ours with the white lettering out, so I'm gonna spin the tire around. Soapy on the outside and on that inside lip. Now, if you're smart, you're gonna set your tires outside in the sun. It makes this job so much easier, but where I live, it's 115 degrees outside, and I would prefer to sit in my air-conditioned shop, and my tires are nice and hard, so they're not very pliable. Here's the trick, guys. If you're like me and your OCD, valve stem facing me, I want my Tensor tire right over that valve stem. I'm gonna lay it down halfway on, okay? This is important. You're gonna slide the wheel in. Once it's in, you're gonna pick up on the bottom. You're gonna wanna get that lip up as high as you can. Once it's up like that, I'm gonna pull the wheel in more and push the tire out. I'm using my shins. So then, hold on the side of the lip where the tire's almost falling over the lip of the wheel, and we're gonna push here again with our knee. And I don't weigh much, and that's all it took. I weigh 142 pounds, so sometimes I struggle with this, but that went on really nice. Now, grab your wheel. 5-gallon bucket, watch your hands when you put this back down, and your valve stem. Now, right now, if you're OCD, is a good time to line it all up. And that's what I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna shake this around, line this up the way I want it, and set it back down. Okay, now, every beadlock wheel has a lip, has a mounting surface that your ring is gonna smash up again. You wanna make sure your tire is not up on that mounting surface. It needs to be behind that groove, and as centered as possible. The more centered, the better off you are. Now you're gonna notice the tire's floating over and pushing down. We need that to happen. You don't wanna fight it, guys. This is our beadlock ring. They all mount the same. Some rings will have a cutout for your valve stem. This one does not. So we're just gonna line up the holes, and here is a problem. Factory wheel, factory ring, factory hardware, brand new, aftermarket tire. This tire is thicker on the sidewall than the factory one was. So what does that mean? It means that my hardware will not spin in. It's not catching the threads. I can sit here all day and do this, and I'm not gonna get anywhere. Now you're frustrated. What do you do? Well, don't worry, man. I'll show you what to do. You're gonna wanna go and take that bolt and run to Ace. Ace is the place in a jam. It really is. This is too short by about a 1/4 inch. So this is an N8 25. So I took it with me. You can spin it into their test wall there and find out your thread pitch. I just went and got a longer bolt by about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. It has a flange on it so I don't dig in and ruin the paint. And I made sure it was a little bit smaller than the one I'm using. So what you're gonna do is get 4 of these. Put some anti-seize on it. See how that spins in, it's grabbing. We're gonna put 4 on this. And what that's gonna do is allow us to drive this ring down and set the tire accordingly. And that will make up the distance we need to start running in our factory bolt. It's pretty standard. This happens quite a bit. Now, I have a gun I'm gonna be running. I know a lot of you guys are gonna be freaking out right now. This gun will go up to 20 pounds. And when I go to put a torque wrench on it, it's gonna bing at 20 or 21. I'm upping our clamping force on this because I used anti-seize. Again, use anti-seize on the bolts and the hardware. Some hardware is stainless going into a nutsert. It will bind. It'll lock up on the threads. So I'm gonna run these in evenly, and I'm gonna set the tire. Now it's nice and flush. I know I've smashed it down as max as it's gonna go. I'm gonna take my hardware now and watch. See how it stood up? It's up a 1/4 inch now, and I can spin it in. So we're gonna go ahead and install all the bolts now. If you guys don't have anti-seize, you can use some grease, just something to like lubricate the threads. The last thing you wanna do is damage the threads on a beadlock or a wheel. It's a pain in the butt. You gotta take it all apart. So if you run into this problem, this is the workaround, the solution. Now, sometimes you'll take your aftermarket wheel in and have it powder coated. Let your powder coater know to plug off all the threads. It's very important. Take my gun again. I'm gonna walk it around multiple times. Problem solved. We're gonna run the rest of our hardware in. You know when a tire goes bang, all that pressure, it's kind of gnarly. It really scares me all the time. I don't know why. I've done like, I don't know, 500 beadlock wheels and tires. We're gonna avoid that. There's a little trick to this. We'll run these in. All right, next step. So I got some anti-seize on me. I use the copper stuff. It wipes off really easy. It doesn't etch powder-coated or anodized parts. The silver anti-seize will, so know that. Now what I'm gonna do is push that wheel back, or that tire back over. I wanna make sure it's moving and it's not locking up already. Soapy water, that's it, that's all it is. I'm gonna run that in there. You're gonna make a mess doing this, it is what it is. Make sure you get it in there. You want that tire to push over everything. And if you can get soapy water in that lip, next step, air it up. What I do is I use the 5-gallon bucket. Put it on the bucket. What that's doing is it allows me to push that lip of the tire down. So when I hit it with the air chuck, it's set. You do it on the ground, you're fighting everything and you'll struggle with it. So this is gonna set it about 20 to 22. See, there's no leaking air. We're letting gravity fold the tire over the wheel and setting that lip. It's not that difficult. Anyone can do this. I recommend you take your time if you're new to it. Now I'm gonna check my air. It's 24 PSI. I'm gonna give it a little hit. It should pop soon. Boom! There it is. That wasn't violent. That was nice. So I'm gonna check it. I'm at 24 once it's set. I'm gonna drop down to 20. Tire pressure. Might as well talk about it. It's 115 where I live. It's summer, we don't do a lot of riding. But if your ambient temperature is hot, drop some air out of your tires. When you're going down that trail, the heat is going to bring the PSI back up. So if you're on a trail and it's like getting worse as far as like how the input on the steering wheel feels and how the car feels, get out, take some air out of your tires. That's what beadlocks are for. That's that. Let's get them on the car. Let's see what it looks like.
Moments later.
Dang, that looks dope. It's gonna look so good. We're gaining some ground clearance too. And you can notice, I got 5 wheels and tires. You're also gonna notice, there's no trunk on the Segway. There's nowhere to mount a spare. That's on the next video. You're gonna need to tune in for that one. That's gonna be legit. Super pumped. All right, here's another little trick. If you're struggling getting your wheel and tire on your UTV, don't hurt your back. Just sit down. I use my legs, right? And my arms are just like a tool. Then I use my shins to hold it, spin them on. Make sure you get a couple spins on there before you guys go throwing a gun on this. And I never slam the first one in, I just kind of bump it on, like that. And I go and catch the opposite. That centers the lug nuts onto the wheel. Then I crank those 2 down, and I run these in. If you're wondering, I'm on setting 2 on my gun. No need to go to 3 and kill this thing. Dang, buddy. You can't even tell me that doesn't look hot. That looks hot. That's a factory wheel with some fresh powder coat on a good looking tire. Now you can kind of see what I was talking about, guys. See how it's rounded right here? It's really ballooned. Look at that. This is gonna let me just kind of cruise in that groove. The tire's not gonna be finger grabbing it all along that edge. This is really sick. It's got a really nice tread, really thick sidewall too. All right, so here's the deal, guys. I got a full-size spare. This is the factory trunk. We're gonna make this work. All right, guys, that's all the time we have on this video. I hope you drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe, submit your rides to UTV Source through the DMs on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Get involved, sign up, become a VIP with us at UTV Source. Remember, guys, life's a ride, make it your own.